So you've lost your golf ball, what do you do next? Well, it depends where you've lost the golf ball and exactly what the scenario is. There can be a lot to know here within the rules of golf, so I'm going to be joined by Golf Monthly golf rules expert Fergus Bisset, and he's going to tell you everything you need to know for whenever you've lost a golf ball. Right, we're here at the London Club, let's get started. Okay, so for this one we are talking about out of bounds, and we're on the left of the 6th hole here, and there's a hedgerow, and it says on the back of the card that the hedge marks the boundary of the golf course. Now Ferg, I can see my golf ball is just the other side of that hedge, and what I would love to do is take a 2 club length penalty drop to get myself back in play somewhere down here. Tell me that that's okay?
I'm sure you would love to do that, Neil, but that is not within the rules of golf. So no. Unfortunately, even though you found your ball, even though it's not lost, it's out of bounds. And under the rule 18.2, your option here, let's start and say hopefully you've already played a provisional, and that would now be in play. If that isn't the case, you'd be back to the tee to play stroke and distance.
Now, Ferg, I need to ask you one quick question here. When you have a boundary line, let's say there was a white chalk line on the floor.
Yep.
At what point is the golf ball out of bounds and what point is it in bounds?
A part of the golf ball has to be on the golf course for it to be in bounds.
Right.
If there was a white line here and the ball was sitting completely on the line, it would be out of bounds.
Right, okay. But if it's slightly on the line but slightly inside the line, then you're okay.
Then you're in bounds. If any part of the ball touches the course, you're in bounds.
Sadly, that's not the case for me. I'm heading back to the tee. Another hole, another woeful tee shot. This time my ball has gone right into the middle of this gorse bush somewhere behind me. And I have on this occasion, Fergus, you'll be pleased to know, hit a provisional. It's gone straight down the middle of the fairway and is quite a long way down there. There's no way I really want to find this golf ball. So surely I can declare this one lost and carry on.
Unfortunately, you cannot declare a golf ball to be lost. You can ask your playing partners not to search for this original ball, but they don't necessarily need to comply.
I'm trying to think, when is that most likely to happen?
In a match play situation, I would say.
Okay.
I would say in stroke play, most reasonable people would allow that to take place. But in match play, they might think, well, I'm going to find that ball. I'm in the bunker, for instance. I need a little bit of assistance here.
Extra assistance.
So I might come up and say, Neil, I've found your ball, and now you're in a place where you're obliged to play it. You would then have to come and identify your ball. And if you didn't make any effort to come and identify your ball, you could be in trouble. The committee might look to disqualify you for a breach of misconduct. So
that sounds like a massive falling out.
Yeah, I think there could be fisticuffs in the clubhouse just about with that one. But
yeah, I guess the important point here is to remember that you can't declare a ball lost. If you're playing in stroke play and you've hit your ball somewhere like this, you can say to your playing partners, I'd rather you didn't find it. But in match play, that gets a little bit more complicated. Don't be too offended if your opponent decides, actually in this scenario, I might try and find it for you. I'm just going to jump in here to remind you to like the video if you're enjoying what you're watching. And if you do know someone who loses a lot of golf balls, why don't you share this video with them? And don't forget to subscribe to the Golf Monthly channel for more rules-related advice. This isn't looking too good in here, Fergus. I sprayed my ball up the right-hand side off the tee again. And at what point is this ball lost?
Well, it's lost when your 3-minute search time is up. Now, your 3-minute search time began when either you or your caddy came to the vicinity where the ball was and began to search for it.
Okay.
Now, 3 minutes is up, and I'm afraid that means the ball is now technically lost.
Oh, right.
And now, the options are, have you played a provisional?
No.
Hasn't played a provisional. Well, unfortunately, then it's stroke and relief, back to play from where the original ball was hit. That's it, I'm afraid.
Back to the tee. Now, what happens if on my way back to the tee, so through here, I find my original ball? Can you offer me any hope in that scenario?
I'd love to be able to, but no. The 3 minutes is up, and that's it. It's back to the tee, and that's it.
Yeah, I guess the point here is it really pays to get a good line on your tee shot when you've hit it into a bit of bother, and then if you have hit it into trouble like this, then do hit a provisional. It will save you a bit of time in the long run, and it will stop you having to make that walk of shame back to the tee to hit another tee shot. Right, so we're on the beautiful 7th hole here at the London Club. It's a par 3 over water, really difficult hole. You tee up from on the hill over there, play towards the green behind us, and I've come up short. We've seen a big splash. My ball's definitely in the water. It's definitely lost. But because this is a penalty area, I've got a few options, haven't I? So tell me what those are.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're absolutely right, Neil. The ball is lost, no question about it. But you've got 2 options because this is a yellow penalty area. One of which is to go back to the tee, stroke and distance relief.
Play the tee shot again.
Play a tee shot again.
Yeah.
Hopefully not do the same thing again. Option 2 is a line of sight relief from between the entry point and the flag. Now I can see there that that's going to put you on a grassy bank, so that might not be ideal, but it is an option. You might want to take that. So yeah, there are two options for you to take in this scenario.
But this isn't always the case in this particular scenario, and there's a really important phrase within the rules of golf that you need to bear in mind, and that is known or virtually certain. Explain why that phrase is important and when it comes into play.
Well, here it could come into play if the ball, around the edge of this penalty area here, there's some longer grass. If the ball had sort of rolled through a bit of that grass and had maybe gone into the penalty area but maybe stayed in the grass, then we would look to the term known or virtually certain.
What does that
Well,
mean?
known or virtually certain is basically, are you 95% sure that what you think happened?
Yes.
So here, in order for this ball to definitely be in the penalty area, you would have to be 95% certain that it had gone in. Now, looking at the longer grass here, I would say it would be very difficult to say if the ball had touched down in there, that you would be 95% certain that it had gone in the penalty area. Now, in that instance, you would begin, I think, your 3-minute search for the ball in that grassy area, and if you couldn't find it, it would be a lost ball, and it would be back, stroke and relief, distance relief to the tee.
You would only have that one option. I think, as Fergus says, that comes particularly into play when there is long grass around the penalty area that you're looking to get relief from. So worth bearing in mind, if you've lost a ball into a watery grave like this one here, you might just have a few more options to play with, but you have to know that it's gone in there or be virtually certain. I think I might go for the green here. Oh no. No, get down. Oh dear. Oops. Now, folks, I've hooked that one onto an adjacent fairway. That's the 18th fairway, this is the 10th. And it raises a situation that happens to every single one of us at some point in our golfing lives. That is, you hit a ball onto an adjacent fairway and another golfer playing another hole either plays your ball or picks it up. Fergus, what are my options in that scenario?
Well, hopefully you'll be able to speak to the person who has either played or picked up your ball and they can confirm that they have. In which case, that's fine. They will show you where it was sitting, or you might be aware of where it was sitting and you can replace it and play on as per normal.
Okay, fine.
However, if you aren't able to speak to them and you can't find it, or if they deny any involvement and you weren't able to see it down, then you might be in trouble because you get to the area you think it should be in and it's not there. Then you have your 3-minute search time as for any missing ball. And if you can't find it, your only option is to come back and take stroke and distance relief.
What if you're sure that they've played it? So in this scenario, I can actually see my golf ball from here, sitting up like a coconut on the 18th fairway. I can see it.
Yeah.
So if another person comes along and they play my golf, that ball that I can see from here, I'm sure they've played my ball. Can I then drop one in that scenario?
This is our favourite phrase, that known or virtually certain. And if you know or are virtually certain, and your playing partners agree with you that you've seen the ball in that situation and it is no longer there, I think that is fair to say, known or virtually certain, that the ball has obviously been moved by an outside agency, i.e. one of these other players. And in that circumstance, you are able to get in replace the ball where you expect it to have been, and then you can play on as normal.
Yeah, but that threshold is very high. So I would finish this bit with just an appeal to every golfer out there. If you find another golf ball on your fairway sitting up like a coconut, before you pick it up or you play it, just think to yourself for a second, could this possibly have come from a different tee? Because it might well have just done so, and you could, in picking it up or playing it, just ruin somebody else's day. So bear that in mind before you do it.